What is identity? Is it a piece of ourselves made from pieces of others? Is it something we carry with us like a backpack? Or is it something that weighs us down like a brick?
Simply put, identity is being who or what a person or thing is. If anything, identity is defined by what you have experienced.
And so really there are all these things like beliefs, desires, sensations, experiences. They're all related to each other, and that just is you, okay? It's a very sort of, in some ways it's a small difference from the common sense understanding. In some ways it's a massive one. It's the shift between thinking of yourself as a thing which has all the experiences of life and thinking of yourself as simply that collection of all experiences in life. You are the sum of your parts.
As the poem The Past by Ha-Jin says,
I have supposed my past is a part of myself, as my shadow appears whenever I'm in the sun. The past cannot be thrown off, and its weight must be borne, or I will become another man.
In this poem, Jin remarks that his identity is a part of him, and if he gets rid of it, he will physically become someone else. He also implies that identity is a burden, that we have the responsibility to carry its weight around.
So why? Why is identity important? Why does he not want to become another man?
Identity defines you. It impacts the actions you take and the morals you have. Without identity, you aren't yourself. You are lost, without a foreseeable unique future, and without it, you cannot live your life to the fullest.
Your Jewish identity defines who you are as a Jew. It gives you something to hold on to during hard times. And before the Holocaust, being Jewish was not your entire identity. As Michael A. Meyer wrote, but neither could Jews define themselves by religion alone. Few could seriously maintain that Jewish was pure and simple, a religious faith on the model of Christianity. The easy answer was that Jewishness constituted some mixture of ethnicity and religion.
The work at school is finished. The days are sunny and warm. Our schoolmates dream about green fields, about the cheerful camp life. Never did life possess such joy and freedom from care.
While Jewish identity is important, it is simply a part of your larger identity, your qualities and traits that make you unique.
As a whole, Jews also had a religious identity. For example, the feelings of early Zionism were ever present at the time. Individuals like Theodor Herzl and other Zionists had spread the idea of a Jewish state all around, which was a big part of Jewish identity at this time.
And the Holocaust took that identity away. Nazis redefined all of the Jews' identity and reduced them to simply that, Jew. No person behind that outer facade. Jews were not people. Jews were the enemy. Jews were to be destroyed completely.
They walked us to a train station, they beat us, and they hit us over the head with sticks, and the they were on the horses, and they called us Bido Shido and stinky Jews, and just very mean atrocities. They hit everybody wherever they could and get to them.
We don't have nothing, and they took us a check, a junky little suit, same thing, okay, what to wear. That wasn't worth to, it was very bad. Torn, they don't care.
By starving the Jews, the Nazis redefined how Jews saw themselves. A severe lack of food changed how Jews acted and their morals.
I told them, children, whatever they give you, don't think about it, you ate it to keep alive.
Sometimes when we were really hungry, our block was next to a kitchen, and they brought potatoes, they put it right into the into the basement. At nighttime, we worked second shift. I opened up the little door and let myself in and brought up potatoes, and we would cook them at nighttime. If they would have caught me, they would have hung me.
As Primo Levi, a survivor of Auschwitz, wrote,
"Imagine now a man who's deprived of everything he loves, and at the same time of his house, his habits, his clothes, in short, of everything he possesses. He will be a hollow man, reduced to suffering and needs, forgetful of dignity and restraint. For he who loses all often easily loses himself. And for many days, while the habits of freedom still led me to look for my wristwatch, my new name ironically appeared instead, a number tattooed in bluish characters under the skin."
Jews were no longer considered people. They were considered a goal of extermination. This was the most extreme form of dehumanization, the taking away of humanity.
Elsa Binder, in her journal entry on January 13, 1942, reflects on a mass execution of her community. She depicts the inhumanity of the situation by saying, "Why? Why did mothers, sons, and children's fathers drive old people, whimpering babies, lively young people, and pregnant women to the cemetery, where fresh common graves were awaiting them? Here little children are clinging to their mother's arms, asking, 'Mama, put me in front of you. I don't want to see when they kill you.' Are not only made to face forward, but get to see how one can hold a pistol in one hand and a bun or a water bottle in the other. The crowd can see how the mothers are preparing their children for death. 'Mama, we want to live so much,' they say. 'Children, since we can't live, we are dying together,' she sobs."
Erna Petri is a woman who killed 6 Jewish children as they were hiding from Germans. She said that she did this because she was conditioned to the racial laws, which established a view toward the Jewish people. This racial law was to treat Jews as only that, hated Jews, not as real people. And that's why so many Jews were able to be killed during this time.
Given this view of identity in the Holocaust, why do you remember the Holocaust? Why remember this horrible tragedy?
By remembering the Holocaust, we learn to appreciate our identity. We learn to love being unique, because we recognize that being unique is a special privilege that we should use to the fullest extent.
We also remember the Holocaust to make sure identity is maintained in the future. By knowing what happened to identity with the Holocaust, we learn to not do something similar in the future and rob people of their identity. And not only to preserve individual identity, but religious as well. The Nazis defined a Jew as something to be killed. We can learn from the Holocaust not to do this, and define a Jew as a respected individual with Jewish beliefs.
So how do we carry on? How do we make sure that the tragedy of the Holocaust impacts our identity?
With every action we take, we keep in mind those who were lost. We make sure we are kind, loving, and caring people, worthy of life we now get to live, thankful of those who had to struggle so that we could survive as individuals and as a nation.